I would like the new community to know that there's real people behind the cameras, and we're not scared to show ourselves. But again, thank you. This is the reveal. There's been a lot of work that's been happening over the course of a couple of weeks, and I'm really excited that we're here to this day. It's been our intentions to really ramp up our abilities on the development side to increase the rigor and professionalism that comes with development. And this solution really helps two communities in a very big way. And in the channel, and they can type, but at their time, they got a bunch of young children. So they're not going to be able to talk this evening because they'll wake up the children. But that both Misha and Timothy are going to be our new CTOs, Chief Technology Officers. You can think of them as leading the vision and the oversight of everything that's going to happen on the development side for us. And we also have Han, who is the studio head. He oversees, like, you can think of him more as like the project manager for the development team. And then with him, there comes a variety of skill sets, from Solidity developer to back-end, front-end developers, graphic artist, a story writer. We have a lot of capabilities, and that's just some of it. He has access to additional development resources as needed as that we scale up to do it. But without further ado, I'd like to announce the name of the game and the name of their token and the name of their community, and it's called Mini Degens. And we looked at this game, and it fit perfectly into what we're looking to do next, which was a role-playing game tied into an NFT concept and a play to earn. We looked at the game, and it's currently in alpha, so it's actually in an early state where it can be some slight rebranding if needed. But it's an excellent time for us to put our community behind an effort like this, where another community has been absolutely passionate about, and combine forces and take this all up to the next level. So I found this as a win-win solution, and so have they. There is a community that will be joining us, and what will happen is they have their own separate token over at the Mini Degens community, and they are going to go through a process over the next few days to turn in their tokens. They'll be working with their developer, Timothy, on that process. And then we have arranged for us to then pick up an equivalent amount of Puli tokens, so they can all join in, so they're all be coming over and merging into our community as community members. And then what is left from there is liquefied and then is turned into our own pot, if that makes sense. And then you should see the buyback as appropriate, or the funds can be used for additional liquidity pool or marketing. So once we see what we have after that, we should see where we're going. But without any further ado, I do want to provide some previews of what they have been working on, both with their community and with the development team. It's just been amazing work. I'm going to show one picture here, and Timothy or Misha, I would like, if you could do me a favor, please, in the chat, can you describe this photo so they know what they are looking at? So let me pull up this photo. One second. So just a quick one parts of the game, the top-down view of the game, and either Han or Misha or Timothy can show an aspect of what the world layout will be. And then I'm going to show you the preview of the combat screen, and we got some videos coming. So you guys can kind of see the style that is being done with the game. Pretty cool. Like I said, all this in alpha. There's going to be an opportunity for a variety of alpha testing, beta testing, open testing for this. Their community has put in a lot of work into this, so we need to be grateful and give credit where credit is due. And they also have a variety of graphic art. I want to show their artists what some of their artists have done to kind of build the storyboard and the character that happens. Now, you know, this can evolve with rebranding. Right now, this is their current hero of Mini Degens in action. Now, you know, Puli is also our mascot, our central hero and character, like Tony the Tiger does on a box of cereal. So we will evaluate if there's going to be any rebranding, but for now, we're not in a sense of urgency. We want to make sure we're in functionality and things are working. But it's just wonderful. There also have been community input. This community has put in input into their game, and then they will vote. And one of the things that they did is they voted on one of the species of the game. So for example, this was a plant species, you know, using pixel art and everything. And as Han had mentioned, you know, this is cyclical, you know, this is early alpha. You get feedback, you tweak the graphics, you continue to iterate on it, and you continue to improve, then you roll into beta, and then eventually we'll get to launch. But this is just some of the things that the community is doing, which is absolutely awesome. I'm going to show you a palette. To kind of show you some, you know, the elemental work that they've been doing with the game. Just love this stuff. There's animations involved. So someone just took a quick screenshot just to kind of show you guys of some of the work of some of the creatures of what is happening in the game when a certain cutscene comes up and what is being done. Just a lot of fun. And I want to show you another video here of just some early work. This is very early now. This is very alpha. But this is just a quick video recording of the developers kind of testing out the combat. Let me send this up here. Just really show off what this community and developers are doing. It's just really, really fun. This is a 60 megabyte file that I'm uploading right now. So just give it a bit to kind of show them what they're working on. And we are going to tie into this a NFT concept as well. So hopefully you guys can see that video, and I'll let you guys look at it at a later time. But that's not all. We've been doing a lot of work. Let me go get you guys one more piece of information. 1 second. I just got to work my way to a folder. And let me find it. I'm going to give you guys some links. Giving you guys everything today, the big reveal. This is the fun stuff, everybody. This is absolutely fun. So what we're planning on doing, this will be covered and supported. So we're going to bring all our resources of marketing, operations. We got a large community. We're going to put all our support behind this effort so that this dream of Mini Degens can actually come to reality and become true. And it's going to be very exciting. This website will become a part of our website. We have our own hosting. We have our own custom servers. We're able to handle very high traffic volume. So this minidegens.com website that you see right now, you'll see that repurposed a little bit and streamlined into our website. So you can click on minidegens.com to see what they were building up there. You can also see that they've already have built the docs behind this to get going.
Hey, Chris.
Go ahead.
Know that you're not sharing your screen, so people can't see anything. You're talking on the
Oh
camera.
no, I put it on the link.
All right, okay. I'm just making.
Yeah, I'm talking to the link right here.
All right, okay. I'm just making sure because I didn't want you thinking you were showing people something and it wasn't
Oh
showing.
no, so yeah, oh yeah, good point. So I dropped in reveals. If you guys can see that text block, so there's a www.minidegens.com that we're going to be bringing into our website. We'll be bringing in the docs so you guys can see the basically the Git book for the entire game. They've just spent a lot of work putting this together so everyone can see what it is. And there's also a YouTube video I'd love you all to see. So go ahead, G-Man.
Yeah, it'll be called Puli Degens, and we'll have a section on our website called Puli Degens. You'll access the game from the website, and of course, this will be mobile as well. But it's mind blowing. I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers like the Final Fantasy games. I mean, I grew up and played a game called Final Fantasy VII. If you're into RPGs, Final Fantasies are like the leaders in that type of game. It's like a Final Fantasy type of game, but with a World of Warcraft element. And I've got to tell you guys, these games are insane. Like they're addictive, they're mass appealing. So the potential here is just enormous. To be on the crypto sphere with this, and obviously the make money online element of it, it's just the right place at the right time. Because as I keep saying, and I keep emphasizing this, the sector, the play to earn crypto sector is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're at the start of it. So, to have this acquisition and have a game studio on board with us is just fantastic. It just takes our utility up to a whole new level. So for me and the team to be able to market this and be part of this, it's like I said on the last time, it's just a real privilege. It's so exciting to be part of this all at the very infancy. But yeah, just go ahead, Chris. If you do want to share your screen, I think you can do that when you're ready. If you do want to show.
Let me figure that out. Actually, I haven't done that in a long time. But, let me show this particular screen. Hopefully you guys can see that. You guys seeing that screen share? If not, let me move it over.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we can see.
Yeah, right here. So I'm going to go ahead and show the Mini Degens. So the doc, and when you come to their gift book, you'll be able to play their YouTube video to kind of see their all the work here. Little things here. I'll play this one too. Not too sure if you guys can see the audio. And so you guys can browse through and take a look at the different pages on there. And then here's the website that we're going to incorporate for it. And again, some of those videos are also worked in. So it's just fantastic. We're going to incorporate, they'll be trading in tokens and receiving ours in exchange. And we're going to combine forces. We're going to combine forces and become a stronger community as a result. And that is really the bottom line about it all is it's just a total win-win for us. And without any further ado, I am going to take this over and see if anyone has any questions. I'll go take a look at the undo the screen here.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, go ahead. Got any questions?
Yeah, I just had one. Besides the game that's in that alpha stage, what other ways can we sort of turn this into a revenue stream for holders?
That is a good question. The one thing that kind of hit me when we were doing this, looking at this about a day ago, was that there's an opportunity here with the way Han has set up the team to allow us to generate another revenue stream to the holders. So what I'm thinking of, and right now this is all conceptual, I'm thinking in my mind, there's probably other tokens that may want to release a game, or they might want to capitalize on our capabilities, that we could, for a fee, develop something for them, a game or whatnot, and then a portion of the proceeds could then go back to the holders. You know what I'm saying, Jared? So that it could go in terms of like a buyback or a token burn, or it can be added to liquidity pool, or it could be added to the staking pool, the additional revenue. So it's an early thought of mine that I would love to expand on, but there's definitely ways to start finding revenue streams that will then come back and reward the holders.
Yeah, I think what Jared means here, Chris, is how does the actual game bring in revenue to the ecosystem, like not that idea. So the game itself, it works when you do things in the game and transact in the game, there's obviously being a charge for that. Well, we get a percentage of every time there's a transaction within the game. So it brings funds back into the ecosystem. And also because there's an NFT trading element in the game as well, it creates a buy and sell on the NFTs, which we also get a percentage back into the ecosystem. So having a play to earn game, like a make money online RPG game where there's lots of players who are addictive, they want to keep going on and growing their characters and leveling up and being part of the story and being part of the expansion packs. Naturally, they're constantly doing transactions in the game. Like if you imagine World of Warcraft, that type of level of game, like it's insane. The people are addicted to that type of game on a massive level. So we can potentially do the same, but on the crypto sphere with a role-playing game, because they're so addictive by their nature. So every time these gamers are on there and interacting in the game and wanting to do more, wanting to get higher levels, wanting to buy more items, wanting to trade, and all of the things that are in the game, as a core of the game, we're constantly earning fees on all of these transactions that are going on as part of the game. So I hope that it clears that up for you, Jared.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes sense. It sounds good.
Yeah. Obviously, that idea what Chris was talking about is just something else that could potentially be on the table for down the road. But the game itself, and this is why it's so huge, is it brings massive funds into the ecosystem, and that's why these games are such a big deal for the actual business. Because instead of like Puli Runner, where Puli Runner is more initially a liability because you're paying out rewards all the time, so that's used more as a marketing angle. With RPG type games, it's a different ball game altogether because it brings funds into the ecosystem. The more gamers that are playing the game, and of course, when you market on that, it becomes like a marketing machine because of the way it's set up, and that's why I'm personally so excited about it to market something like that. But yeah, Chris, go on and continue. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify that so people understand the power of it.
There was a question from Puli Warrior about how the acquisition will affect the Puli chart. I don't expect it will, because it's a swap from one token to another. So I don't predict that there'll be any issues on it. It is a small community that is joining us. If anything, I think after running the numbers, we may actually see a bump up, because I think we're going to do a buyback after they've had as many holders as possible move over. They then will be able to do what they need to do with the remaining tokens on their side. Timothy can type 2 and describe tomorrow at a better time of the day. We'll open up the voice chat again during the day so that people can engage with Misha and Timothy, so that they can ask them questions. Like I said, right now at this time of the night, they don't want to wake up the family. But I'm not expecting anything, but hopefully we actually will see a buyback.
Yeah, because the liquidity will come to us from that token. So we'll use that as either, like Chris said, either a buyback or towards marketing. The next big event, guys, is the NFT Mint. If we do this right and do it in the strategic way that I have planned, it'll bring a massive funding for the project, which will give us a massive marketing campaign for the next exchange listing that's coming up. And as long as we're rolling like this with strategy, we're just going to grow and grow and grow as a business. It's about growing the business in the strategic way, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So anyways, I'm going to go back to the website soon. There'll be some changes on the About Us section of the website, which is extremely important, because when we start sending visitors to the website, remember, these are potential investors, so the first impression counts. One of the first pages that we'll go to is the About Us page to see who the hell am I investing in? Who is the team behind the project? So we're really fleshing this out to showcase the new team properly, taking away people who are not part of the team anymore. We've got a much more mature team now, for a reason. This was part of the strategy as well. So all of that good stuff will be shown on the About Us page. I'm hoping to get that done within the next 48 hours, actually. And then, to make it more exciting, we've got a lot of new pages coming in. Obviously, the Puli Degens game is going to be on there. We've got the Make Money Online RPG section going up. We're expanding on our utility, so there's new tabs going on to the website. New tabs just means new pages, guys, new sections. So we're expanding on our navigation bar. Of course, we want to develop the referral program for the Puli token, so people can promote it and be rewarded that way too. So there's just lots of things going on, and it's all really exciting. But the website's kind of going into another revamp to showcase, obviously, all of this involvement, what's continually going on behind the scenes. So yeah, guys, it's all exciting stuff. And obviously, my question to you is, Chris, is when can I start promoting this damn game? Because I'm too excited. Obviously, there'll be a pre-launch. There'll be a pre-launch period, guys, and when that happens, there'll be obviously AMAs with other communities. There'll be YouTube influencers. There'll be paid ads specifically towards the game and so forth. So tonight is just about an introduction that, we've expanded our team. We've had an acquisition, and this is only going to add to the power of the project.
Yeah. This is a great times. Everyone will have photographs and bios. You'll see everybody. There was a question, and Han answered it. Where is the majority of the development team located from? And he answered that they're in the Philippines. So that's where most of the team is. Let me see if there's other questions on there. Oh yeah, the Minigen token will merge with Puli token. Is that right? The answer is yes. We will work and communicate very clearly with their community the steps that they have to take to exchange one for the other, and then join us over here. They also have a Discord presence, and we'll be building out the Discord. There's 2 lead moderators that have been invited over, and they've already taken over. You'll see them as lead moderator in their title. They're going to help us with manning the chat at different times of the day, and so we appreciate that kind of support as well. The team has already been helping us with the NFT and the smart contract work, so it's just been fantastic what Han has been doing as the studio head. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had some questions.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good to hear. So I have a few questions. So my questions are both about Puli and Mini Degens. So I was trying to understand what's the utility of Puli. I know that we have a lot of things going on. There's the games, but what is the main utility of it? That's my first question.
The main purpose of the token is to drive development, right? So when you look at a token and what's the purpose of the token, right? That's really the underlying question. Is primarily, well, 2 things. One, you need to fund the development of all these games. So all these individuals in the Philippines, Han and everything, or who we're funding to get the resources, for example, purchasing licenses, like for example, on the Puli Runner game, the Unity license, so we can get rid of the watermarks on the games, to paying for fees for me to get on the Apple Play and Google, all these things. So the token is like the fuel for our fire. The token is, without the token, there would be no game. There'd be no development. There'd be no marketing. to further advertise the game and bring in players to come play and enjoy what we are intending to do in our vision, which is that crypto can be both a safe and enjoyable experience. That's our vision at Puli, and everything behind this token is what drives that. So that's the main purpose of it. That's how I see the utility. There's some utilities that directly tied to the token in terms of staking and providing additional APY returns for you. We have other visions for utility that come back to the holders in terms of streams of revenue. So I like to think of it more as an ecosystem around what we're building, such as our merchandiser, buying merchandise, taking the profits, returning that back to the holders, to what revenue is made from advertisers and advertisements that we can tie to the games, to the selling of the NFTs. So it's a lot more than just the token itself. And I hope that answers.
That was one part of the question. Thank you. So basically, the function of Puli is it's like a treasury asset, if I'm getting that properly. So that's to fund. Yeah. Is to fund any other projects or any kind of projects and things that's going to be happening within Puli. So I understand that. So the other thing I was going to ask you about was the staking. So it's pretty cool that you just mentioned it when you're talking about it. So the thing about staking now, how does the liquidity pools work within this? That's a B, not just liquidity. What do we get when we stake, for example, Puli, right? When building a liquidity farm, you pair it with something. So I'm guessing it's BNB that we pair it with.
So we have 3 staking pools. Each one has a different proportion of the total staking pool, which makes up right now over 25%. The biggest wallet you see is the staking pool. When you guys go to BSC Scan, we have a phenomenal number of tokens that are staked, and those tokens are treated like locked liquidity or any liquidity pool. They're treated as out of circulation. So all our circulation, verified circulation, all the sites that are reporting our circulation supply, that staking pool is considered out of circulation. It's considered it's adding scarcity to the token. And there's 3 pools. The provider, RBX, has their own token, and you can earn Puli by holding their token, RBX, and stake in it. You can earn an APY percentage increase on your holdings by staking Puli for more Puli. Or you can set up a liquidity pair. You can do it on RBX's platform. You can go and set up a BNB, a wrapped BNB and Puli liquidity pair using the PancakeSwap version 2 router. You set up that liquidity pair, and then you go and you can stake the actual LP tokens for an APY. And that's also been very popular.
So now about the staking, right? So if you stake it, if it's a regular stake, do we get, or is our yield in Puli? If we get paid, if we're getting yielded in Puli, right? That means the supply is diminishing, right? So just by staking, the price of Puli should go higher, right?
It definitely goes out of circulation. It's not getting burned per se, but it is being tied up out of the circulation. So it's holding a floor for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely, we have proven that it holds a floor. So during times, because when the market's going pretty bullish, when it's going bearish, we have seen it basically bounce off a really solid floor. And that is, I think, courtesy of 2 things: our liquidity pool and the staking pool. And it really pushes it up pretty high. So that's really a good benefit from it. A nice thing about our staking concept is that there's no lock. You're free to come and go as you please. The compound button will basically take that and roll it back into your current holdings.
That's nice.
So that's a nice way to just, I think eventually their intent is to make an auto compound for us. But for now, I do it about once a week. I'll hit compound and I'll take whatever is accrued and I'll put it back into my current stake.
So since we're getting yielded in Puli, right? Would it cause sell pressure or a lot of sell pressure if people sold the Puli? And if we're compounding, right? Since there, I think there's, if I read on the tokenomics of it, it said there's an 11% sales tax. So is that sales tax also applied if you're compounding as well?
No, actually it's 10%, and every wallet's been whitelisted for staking in the Puli contract.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so anytime you stake in or you come out, one thing that our contract allows us to do is we're able to whitelist those functions. So it is a more complicated contract as a result. I think it does actually have an effect on gas fees because of the complexity of the contract, but we do have the ability to do those kind of functions and to whitelist everybody's wallet so they can go in and stake and unstake without having to pay a fee for that. So it's a great advantage. Unfortunately, you cannot do that with the liquidity pool because we'll end up whitelisting the entire Pancake router. And then I'm sure everybody will be like, woo, free tax day. But that is the only thing. So when setting up a liquidity pair staking pool, just I'd be mindful that it is I would treat that one as definitely a much more long-term commitment, but it's a solid approach. Plus,
yeah,
not only are you getting the staking pool rewards, you're still getting the Pancake reward at the same time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then so now with the gaming that's coming into Puli now, right? So the funds that are coming in from Puli, as that's the utility of a treasury asset, is now going to get pulled into the game, right? And if it gets marketed properly, it's going to pull in more investors, which is going to cause people to hold Puli. So what's stopping people from like selling Puli? You know, like so for example, like let's say the price goes up, right? Let's say let's say there's a 1-2x from here, right? The game does really well, it does like a 2-3x, whatever, right? So what's the incentive not to sell when the price goes up?
We have that's what I think where the play to earn concept comes from, setting some if you want to still get involved and you're doing well with some of the rewards, or we've been just recently talking about how can we further gamify our games, such as being able to use Puli Token to do power-ups and whatnot in the game. Obviously, we need to continue to advance and do product releases and expansions to the games, and to continue to onward development, because especially here in the BSC space, people lose patience. And I think if anyone drops off the chart more than anything, it's just really more the news cycle and active marketing that we're doing, and just they want to see continuous updates and motion forward. And so we're going to treat this just like any regular software development firm. We're going to be issuing out patch notes. We're going to do patch releases. Everyone can continue to be engaged and want to be a part of something successful, so they hold on to their token because, because they feel like they're a part of something of success, if that makes sense. And
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Any other questions? Sorry, I know you've asked a lot of them, but we got some people asking some questions too. But is it okay if I come back around to you?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, let me come back around. I am Raul asked, will it mean any changes for us, or we keep holding Puli as normal? For everyone who has Puli, that is still as normal. Another question was, is the Pulimatic platform still planned to come soon? I'm really thinking about that one. I want to evaluate it. I want to see if it makes sense given our serious play to earn concept. I still think we can make it work, but we're going to revise it a little bit. I like the idea of having a chat and a chart and a price action and maybe some scores happening, like top scores. And then people can then chat and comment and tease and say, hey, I see you got that score. Oh, that's a cool prize. And there's a platform that I would love to widgetize, and I've approached them. And if I can convince them, I said, hey, it would be nice to be able to fully widgetize your capabilities and get it into our website. Then we can that would be the vision of Polymatic. Whatever we call it, it would be that. And then they can always click through for the full experience to what we've widgetized. So in some cases, it makes sense to do a joint venture. And I see the idea behind Polymatic to be a joint venture type of pursuit. So I hope that answers your question there. I am Raul asks, are we going to use the same NFT into Puli Runner and Mini Degens? Will they have two different set of NFTs? I think the current idea is to go with different set of NFTs. Is that right, G-Man?
Yeah, the game, the Make Money Online RPG game, Puli Degens, will have a specific set of NFTs that relates to the game. So they'll be different. But by holding a Puli NFT, you'll be grandfathered in to get access to rewards to all of the mobile games that are going to come. Obviously, we're doing two types of things. We're doing mobile games, which is a different style of games, and then we're doing our Make Money Online RPG games as well. But the main focus for this year will be Puli Degens because it's such a big game, and it has a big vision, and it's been built with a lot of passion, time, and care. So we want to give that the potential that it deserves. So that'll be our main core game for this year. With a series of obviously mobile type games where your Puli NFT will have more and more use case as we progress with the development and rollout on that side. So in answer to your question, in short, yes, there will be a different set of NFTs for Puli Degens, which is a good thing because, again, as I described to Jared's question, they have massive use case and give massive funds back into the ecosystem, which is so important because we can't just have Puli Runner type games because, again, they're a constant expense. They're good for marketing, but you've got to combat that with the opposite side where it brings funds into the ecosystem in a big way so that we have major funds for further development, for marketing, and all of the good stuff, which is going to help us not only get volume, but sustain volume, which is, of course, that comes back to the exchanges, and we need to support that with marketing as well. So hope that answers you guys.
Awesome, thank you. That got to the bottom of the questions, I think. If there aren't any others, I don't know if you had one last one, Butch. I'll give you a chance to hit me with one last question. I'm going to head off.
Okay, let me make it a good one then. Okay, so maybe it's like, if it's okay, let me get a two-part question. If that's okay. One question, but it's like two parts to it. The first part is, again, has to do with liquidity for the coin. Maybe backtrack that. First thing is that since one of the projects is Mini Degens, right? So
Right.
that's one utility of Puli, is that one part of the ecosystem of Puli is the Mini Degens. Okay. Is there any other major utility that's coming out, like, or major like a game or any other thing that's coming out with Puli anytime recently? Or?
Yeah, we've got a mobile game about to launch. We've got our NFTs about to launch. The NFTs will merge in with the mobile game. I'm actually just working on some text now. So, I mean, basically, we're going to become a Make Money Online RPG and play to earn ecosystem with a heavy focus on NFTs, giving the NFTs more use cases and demand and scarcity. We're also aiming to become a Puli launch pad on top of this initial ecosystem, where basically, because of our marketing prowess and our business acumen, and you'll see this as we progress, as we start making a massive following. We haven't even started marketing this, by the way. Yeah, it's all just like infancy stage.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, so we'll have other P2E tokens, play-to-earn tokens that will want to come to us to be launched with the Puli brand because of our marketing prowess. Like, Mo, Meow, and I are like huge internet marketers because of our business acumen with obviously Lightspeed on board and his ability to manage teams, our leadership skills, and so much more. We're also going to have a referral program where you can promote the token and be rewarded for doing so, and also be trained on how to do this in strategic ways. So there's so much utility being built already and behind the scenes. So there's a lot of utility for the Puli token. It's far more than just a meme token with one game. The mobile game is very, very likely to launch this month along with the NFTs as well. And you want to make sure you get an NFT because that's going to give you access to get rewards from the mobile game and the future mobile games that are coming.
So, with the utility of the NFTs and with the game, because that's the second part of the question was basically and the total value that's locked in the liquidity pool. Is there anything that's tied together with, like, for example, the staking and the NFTs, right? Does it have certain utility? For example, if people are holding them, do they get any kind of like incentives other than the game? You know, like if I'm holding, let's say, 20 fully NFTs, do I get an incentive for holding them? Do I get rewarded or anything for holding them?
At the moment, you'll get access to the play to earn function on the mobile game. But what we're going to do is we're going to have like upgrades and benefits for being a holder of an NFT as well. So obviously that's still in development, and then we'll have more news on that as we progress. But I see where you're coming from, and yes, we're definitely thinking of that, and we want to implement that as well. Obviously, we want to reward our NFT holders and create a higher flow for our NFTs by giving them more value and creating that demand by doing what you've basically just said over time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that the more value that's locked into the ecosystem, right? Like, if just to get it put out of circulation, one way is to burn them. The other way is if people are holding them, either if we stake them or if I just hold it in my wallet. Because I understand that if you hold like an NFT, the blockchain is reading that you're holding X NFT, you're gonna get this, you know. So that's what I was wondering, is to keep increasing the floor price. That would be one of the best ways to do it, was to be staking and to hold these NFTs with the utility, if I'm understanding properly.
Yeah, you're pretty much right. And obviously with ongoing exposure on marketing to increase the demand, it's like, oh man, I want one of those NFTs because I want to access these cool games because I want to get rewards too and get all of these upgrades and benefits. So it's just a combination of what you've said and giving it more and more exposure. So yeah, you're spot on, buddy. That's what we want to do.
All right. Thank you, man.
There's also the idea of allowing the NFTs to augment what you're currently staking. So if you got 25% APY, maybe if you earned an NFT, you get an additional 2% or 5% up to a certain maximum number of NFTs you're holding. So there's lots of other ways to really capitalize on NFTs as we go down the road. Our staking platform is currently funded easily for 6 months, and we continuously top it off with additional Puli tokens. So it's well funded and very healthy.
Yeah, so that's a good example, and I didn't think about that one. So that's great. So I mean, you can give more rewards, like giving more on the staking pools and things like that. Just giving them more and more use case and creating more and more scarcity for them. I mean, that's exactly how you want to be doing it. That's exactly what we're going to do.
So guys, I got to get going. I'm at the end of my point here. But any final reattacks?
I had just one. Just with the sort of timeline of the rollout of the NFT event launch and the potential exchanges, etc. Have we sort of solidified a bit of a
I can answer the centralized
exchange.
Yeah, I can answer the centralized exchange, and I'll punt to G-Man on NFTs because that's really tied to our marketing effort and making sure that the contracts are secure. And but with the centralized exchange, we've been negotiating now, been playing them against each other, Bitrue and Bitmart. Bitmart's been holding pretty firm to a certain amount of liquidity that needs to go in. We've finally been able to get them to cave a little bit, but not enough. So some people may not know, we have a consultant that's on board to help advise us on different branches and sequels to our negotiations with the centralized exchanges so we can get the maximum return on investment. So another one was Bitrue, and I've spent some time talking to our angels, our big investors, to get their opinion on it, and Bitrue looks like a good alternative because it also fits with our demographic profile of our Telegram channel. And so that price is actually very good. And so we have to make a decision now of, do we hold fast with Bitmart or do we go with Bitrue? And so more to follow on it. There's decisions to be made, but I think we've gotten the prices down as far as we can on each side. So now it's just a decision of which one do we choose. And either way, it would have to happen behind our CertiK audit, which is still in the onboarding process. So people can still vote and express their sentiment on the token. So we're waiting for CertiK audit to complete, and I still need to get a legal opinion letter. So our white paper actually gets a review by a lawyer to make sure that we are compliant with a variety of host nation laws. Wherever that centralized exchange is, we need to follow those laws. So I actually got to ensure that our white paper, my company, is going to be legal compliant with the centralized exchange. So we still got a couple steps there. So I'm still expecting near the very end of the month, and it should follow after NFTs. And Jim, I don't know if you have any timeline expectations with NFTs, but I'm still thinking we're at least a couple of weeks or a week away to ensure we got everything.
So with the
NFT, oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on, Jared, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah. So with the NFTs, obviously that'll be collaborated with the marketing. But I was just thinking, so everyone's sort of aware, is the marketing plan for the end of the month, and of course then with the NFT, sort of where are we looking at on a calendar with that?
Yeah, so with the NFTs, and I'll just be completely transparent here and tell everyone what's been happening. So with the NFTs, initially Selfmade was taking care of the NFTs and doing the mint, but he's stepped down because he lost a relative. He's only young, he's like 19. He's only a young man, and he just can't handle the pressures of a business that's forming here of this magnitude, because there's just so much going on. As you know, Jared is a CEO. There's constant calls. Everybody needs your support on all of these different channels, and it can get really stressful, even if you haven't got personal things going on, especially at that age. 19. I remember how I was at 19. It's you don't want to be glued to the business hours and hours a day. So he stepped down. So what we've had to do, unfortunately, we've required obviously a much bigger development team in this process. So we've had to kind of fill them in and get them on page as quickly as possible. So the last few days, there's been several calls going over what we have and then what they need to take over. Obviously, that's caused a little bit of a delay with this transition. However, they've got the skills that's needed, and everything's still going to go ahead as planned. It's just we've got obviously a stronger development team now and more mature, which is obviously in the longer term a good thing. As regards to your question, is time, and I'm really, really pushing and hoping that the NFT mint and the mobile game's ready. The mobile game's ready to be launched, and we went through all of the stages with the Lightspeed Services company to go through for iOS and Android, so we can get listed on them. We've done all of the requirements, so that's all good, and the mobile game's ready. So with the delays actually on the NFT side because of what happened with Selfmade personally and him stepping down, so we're just in that transition period, getting the current developers quickly up to speed, which they are now. Today we've solved that, so now we can move full steam ahead. So I'm really hoping that it will happen towards the end of this month as an ETA. So what will happen is there'll be a marketing campaign for the pre-sale, where obviously you can get your wallet whitelisted up to 500 wallets. And we're going to try and sell 1,000 NFTs. And then there'll be a marketing campaign for the actual NFT mint when it goes live as well. And obviously, when I say marketing campaign, we'll have, ads, we'll have influencers and all of that kind of stuff. And then we'll have it again for the actual live mint itself. Because like I say, if we get 1,000 NFTs minted, we raise a considerable amount of funds, which sets us up for the next strategy for the exchange listing. And hopefully we can do them both towards the end of this month, which would be obviously a big move forward in terms of getting some really good volume coming in and taking it forward for the next steps. So I hope that answers you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Yep. G-Man and I both met with a marketing firm on Monday. We're going to meet with another one tomorrow, and looking forward to it.
So we've pretty much onboarded. I mean, I have, like I say, I am my own marketing agency. I have my own pay-per-click specialist team that focus on Facebook and Instagram specifically. But we're not ready to launch the campaigns there because the website's not where it needs to be. Obviously, I want to have a video sales letter on there. I want to have an education tab on there about how to bridge over, because we're going to be catering to people outside of BSC as well. So we're not ready to switch on those ads yet anyhow. However, we've brought on an agency for the BSC side, which is exclusive at getting exposure for BSC type tokens. So we've got them on board. So we'll set some of the segments that the marketing services that they offer for the NFT mint. Obviously, we'll set more segments of that marketing services agency for when we come to prior to an exchange. But eventually what will happen is we'll have the marketing from all angles just firing off for every single event, but it just has to be done in stages and strategically, because we're in our infancy. We don't want to rush and blow funds at the wrong time. So you've got to do this obviously very carefully and in stages when you're in an infancy stage and funds are tight. You know, you just got to be fully transparent about that. You know, we're not like Microsoft right now. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to do this in stages and be very careful with the funds to make sure that we get the best bang for our buck. For example, when we do the NFT mint, we'll have a sweepstake set up and we'll promote the sweepstake. And the reason why we do this is we get people to do certain things, like sign up to our Telegram, sign up to our Discord, retweet a tweet. So it just makes more marketing out of marketing. So you're getting more from your money. Like, say we get a bunch of NFT influencers to tweet about our NFT whitelist. The people that they bring to that specific sweepstake page will have to do certain tasks, which helps multiply the exposure. So you just got to have the right strategy with every move that you're making to get the most out of the little money that you have. And it is little money that we're working with right now because it's a small business and we're in our infancy stage. The good thing is we're in the crypto sphere with very smart marketing minds on board, excellent business acumen on board. It won't take long to multiply the funds that we've got to play with very quickly and very fast. Same words, but in different terminology. You get where I'm coming from, Jared.
Absolutely. Yep. Understood.
All right, guys. I'm actually working on the About Us section, and I want to get this over to my web guy now so that we can get this up in short order. Because this, I touched on this before, people don't seem to realize, but these might seem like minor things, but the About Us section of a website, when you're talking about potential investors and creating trade volume, is so important. Like, this has to be right. The way it wasn't good enough. And that was quickly thrown up for the SafeMoon initiative. That was the first step that we take. You know, Chris and I took when we onboarded. I think it was around 10 days ago. We quickly achieved that. That was just a very initial step. So we threw a quick website up, and now we've got to take it a step further because now we're making bigger moves. So every time we make bigger moves, you've got to go back to, right, this needs improved, and so forth. So all of this is good because eventually it all snowballs when you have everything improved continually. You have your development side rolling out utility, you have more and more marketing switched on, you have more and more events coming on. It obviously, there's a time where it all snowballs. So I keep saying when we move, we're going to move. You know what I mean? Like, we're really going to move because we don't even have any marketing on right now. That's the crazy thing. All the buys that are coming in right now is just simply, you know, word of mouth and organic. I don't have any marketing on. I'm not even using my skill set right now because I'm preparing things for that skill set to come in play as we progress and as we roll out the events. All right, Chris, I'll put it back on over to you. Thank you.
No problem. I'm just going to close with saying thank you very much for coming. We do have a pretty strong marketing war chest here that's built up. So once we are ready and we're confident that we can go for launch on NFTs, you're going to really start a big marketing push. We are going to use two approaches. One is our steady state marketing. That conversation is going to happen tomorrow, but we also got some great resources for really big surge pushes. So again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.